Welcome back to the Reverbium channel for the F1 2021 career mode. We're in Monaco, the crown jewel of the season for the next round of the F2 championship. Coming off the back of a bit of a disappointing weekend in Spain, we're going to head up for qualifying here to try and recover, pick up some more points and try and close down Felipe Drugovich in the championship. So here we are on our first lap of qualifying. It's been a bit of an untidy start to the lap through sectors 1 and 2. So we've got a lot of work to do left in qualifying to try and get a good start to this race. As we come through the swimming pool section into the final few corners, it'll be just seeing how much we can get out of this lap. It's not going to be enough for pole or anywhere near the front row as we into the DRS zone. It's a straight sprint for the line. What can we get? It's a 1:24, and that's not going to be good enough at all. As you can see, we've dropped down to 10th as we come to the end of our second lap. With 7 tenths up, 8 tenths up on last time. The sprint to the line, can we keep 8? No, it's down to 7. We're across the line, and it's up to 5th for now in qualifying. But we don't get another lap in, and it's 10th overall, and it's only 5th in that section. Also, we have 2 groups in qualifying in Monaco, so 10th on the grid is not what we want. Schumacher is on pole, so he takes 4 points to take 4 more in the championship. That'll help him to head down for the race.
We're now moments away from the alpha, let's take a look at the grid order in which they'll start today's race. A fantastic effort from Mick Schumacher yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Yuki Tsunoda in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Matsushita, Aitken, Callum-Ilott, and Sato, Ticktum, Galeo, Piquet, and Apriema, Deruvula, Joe, Christian Lundgaard, and Giotto, Samaya, Alesi, Mazepin, and Felipe Drugovich. Markelon, Armstrong, Nissany, and Louis Delatraz starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So we're down onto the grid. Drugovich starting back in the grid today, which is a huge chance for us to try and pick up some points and pull back on him in the championship. So time to see what we can do as we head down to the grid for 5 red lights for the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. And we've changed into second gear too early, so we've not got the pull where we needed. Deruvula managed to take 10th place at the inside. We're going to look around the outside of the first corner to try and place back a little bit of contact with Deruvula. We get the exit up the hill. We get 10th place back, crucially, to get, at the moment we're securing a point, but we won't want to stay here as we enter into the casino section for the first time of the race. Tucked in behind Piquet. We're going to see if we can make a move down the inside as they all bunch up. We narrowly missed the back of Piquet's car. A little bit of a look at the inside of Galeo where there's no room at all. But we're going to look to switch back to the inside of the hairpin as everyone bunches up. We have a yellow flag behind us, assuming some form of contact between someone. As we sneak up into 8th, we get a little bit of a warning for a collision on the back of Sato there as we look for this move again, as we dive down the inside into the right-hander, get that place nicely. No chance for Piquet back around the outside, and as we look to cheekily go up the inside of the hairpin, everyone parks up behind as Galeo brakes sharply. Everyone's reversing back up the road, not sure what that's all about, but we'll head back to our front on camera now as we head into the tunnel, tucked in behind Sato on the first lap of the race, gaining 2 places, getting some crucial points. Schumacher still out in the lead, which isn't what we need. We need to try and close on him to not let him get so many points on us, but it's going to be difficult to do. We know that overtaking is difficult around Monaco. Nice tight street circuit, there's not many opportunities for overtaking here, so we're going to have to try and keep on the back of Sato and bide our time until we get an opening and not risk it too much. The last thing we want is to damage the car and have to pit for a second time in this race. So a nice one on the back of Sato. We come around the final corner. Oh, with a little bit of that, we lose the back end into the corner there before the straight. There's going to be no chance into turn 1, sadly, as we lose the grip on the car. So we're going to have to wait for another opportunity. Thankfully managed to save it. No damage despite the slide. That's the most crucial thing. Avoiding the walls round here. As we go a bit wide into the casino section, hold on to it. Avoid the wall on the inside. Come nicely wide on the outside, tucking behind Sato. No chance of a move up the inside this time into the corner as we head down the hill, and no chance of a sneaky point plays here, but we do hit the back of Sato twice as they slow right down into this section of the circuit. Take a lot of curb through the right-hander, avoid the wall on the inside there as we try and tail the back of Sato. Can we get a toe through the tunnel and try and make a dive into the chicane at the bottom of the hill? We look to the inside, we can't get the move done, so we slam on the brakes to stop running into the back of Sato again for a third time in this race already. So again, we're going to have to wait around the back of this lap. There's not going to be a way for making a move into the swimming pool section. It's too tight of the circuit. We're going to have to hope that we can stay behind and make a move to turn 1 is our next chance. A little bit of contact again on the back of Sato. Mick Schumacher, fastest lap of the race, expected from him out the front. We don't get a good exit from the final corner again, and Sato manages to get away from us. DRS now enabled, that will help. We head into the right-hander of turn 1, nicely onto the back of Sato. We've got to look for a chance to make a move here, although we don't want to make too much of a risk and put ourselves out of the race. We can't spend too long being sat behind without getting through, otherwise the leaders will just be able to pull ahead. So we again can't make a move into the right-hander on Sato. We've got to come down the hill again, lose the car a little bit, and a bit deep into the hairpin here, trying to make some space for ourselves. A little bit of contact on the back of Sato again. Our front wing taking a little bit of a battering today, but thankfully no damage so far as we head into the tunnel nicely on the back of Sato. We should be able to make a move into the chicane this time as we look. Do we go inside? Do we go outside? We look to the inside, late on the braking, up the inside of Sato, managed to get the car stopped before the chicane, and we're through into 7th place, picking up some extra points here. So we come out of the tunnel there, nice move down the inside, managed to get the car slowed down, take quite a bit of corner, but we're slow enough that we're not going to get punished for that. And now we'll set our sights on fellow Brit Jack Aitken as we come into the final sections of the lap. A nice green middle sector for us there, not going to be enough to try and sneak the fastest lap point at the moment though, with a poor first sector, and we're not very smooth for the final sector again. In the final corners, Aitken's able to get ahead of us, get away. He'll have DRS as well down the home straight, so we're not going to claim back any time there, and we're now going to have to try and find a way to close this gap on Jack Aitken as we come up through the first sector. We've gained a bit of time here. We're nice and quick for the first sector this time as we look to see if we can get close enough. We can't. We have to tuck in behind again, and we're late on the brakes and just managed to get the car stopped to avoid the back of Aitken. And again, we're just narrowly missing the back of the MP Motorsport. Tictum very slow ahead. He's the one actually causing the problems, is that Aitken's having to slow down a lot to avoid running into the back of Tictum, so then we're having to slow down a lot, and it's backing us up, which isn't what we need. There's a big gap between Tictum and Zhou ahead. Well, look, we can't look for the move on the inside on Aitken this time, so we're going to have to wait for another lap, because once again it's too tight around sector 3. We're not going to make a move. I'm not sure what's wrong with Tictum, but he's lapping so slowly around here that we're just being backed up the entire time and losing time to 4th place all the way through this lap. We're right on the back of Aitken this time. Can we get a good exit on the final corner? It's better than most times, but still not good enough, and not helpful that Aitken is so close behind Tictum that he also has DRS down the home straight. Right on the back now through turn 1. We'll try and push up the hill, see if we can make a move somewhere. It's a bit too tight around this little section, but when we get into the casino section, we try and look up the inside, a little bit of contact, we hit the wall, and again, the front wing is absolutely ruined through the casino section. That's what we didn't want. We tried to take a risk up the inside in a place where there really isn't ever a move, and it's a horrible mistake from us that could cost us some points. We head into the pits, replace the front wing. See, we're going to come out in last already on the super softs. There's going to be a big ask from us now to try and get to the end of this race on super softs. With that's the only way we're going to get points, is if we somehow manage to tyre management all the way through this race on the super soft compound through 15 laps to try and make the time back. But we're getting purple sectors right at the back, so we might be able to steal some points for the fastest lap. We managed to close down on Delatraz a bit inside 3 seconds, which is going to be a big charge from us. We take the fastest lap on lap 8 of the race and try and see what we can do. We're on the back of Delatraz now as we head into lap 10, trying to make a move at the inside of turn 1. We can't get inside of him, a little touch on the back. We've got to be careful as this is where we damage the car first time round. We make sure we stay behind Delatraz this time, don't go for the move. We know where the move can be made, which through the right hander is going to be the next corner. If we have a good exit, we can dive up the inside, and that's what we're going to do. Late on the braking, we get up the inside of Delatraz, squeeze in wide. We're able to get up to 21st place. The start of the comeback is on deep into the hairpin, right on the back of Armstrong. Make sure to avoid the back of his car, and it'll be a move through the tunnel they'll be looking for next. We want to try and make up as many places as we can before everyone else pits. It'll be late on into this race as they're starting on the slower compound as we look to make a move at the inside of Armstrong, and very late on the braking again, and we squeeze up the inside. Armstrong sent over the chicane, but we managed to get the move done up into 20th. Little bit of contact through the chicane, but we get through nicely and make another place up, which will be very helpful if we can avoid a second pit stop, but that will be difficult with tyre wear. As we head on lap 11 now through the tunnel on the back of Nissany, looking to make another move, make another place. It's then a big gap to Markelov, so we need to get this move done as soon as possible. Up the inside again, down the hill. Can we get it done? No, Nissany fights back over the chicane. We can't get past him. He's slow on the exit. We're a bit faster. We're going to try and make a move at the inside of the left-hander here. Squeeze, just avoid the wall, and we're through into 19th, but we're now 4 seconds behind Markelov, deep into the next corner, somehow avoiding the wall, keeping our front wing intact this time round as we now try and close up this big gap to Markelov, which we've done a few laps later. Now 1.5 seconds with a purple sector 2. We're going to look for more pace again through the final sector, try and close this gap down as much as possible. We have to make moves. It's the only way we're going to get something from this race is to have the pace to come through. They're wanting us to pit for a new set of super softs. We're saying no, the tyres are fine for now. We want to try and stay out for the entire rest of the race. We go fastest lap again, almost 0.3 of a second faster. We're inside a second on Markelov now, looking to see if we can make a move on this lap. We're into the tunnel section, only 0.3 of a second. We've made plenty of moves down here this race already. We can't make it this time. We're just a bit too far back. And Markelov locks up into the chicane. Can we get a move on the exit of the corner? It doesn't look like it. Not much of a difference in pace out of the corner. Markelov stays in 18th for now. We're going to trail him through the end of the lap and try and wait for a move. Turn 1 will be the next chance and hope that we can get something, that we avoid the back of the car. He peels into the pits. That's another move then. The pits are starting to happen. How many places can we pick up? It's 2 so far, Markelov and Mazepin. Zhou on the exit we get as well. Galeo we get on the exit. Aitken's now ahead of us coming out of the pits. We just avoid the wall. So we're back where we previously were, behind Jack Aitken after all this time. We're up into 7th. We've managed to recover well. Tucked in on the back now. Hoping if we can make some extra places. Tictum still going a bit slowly. Aitken seems to be stuck behind Tictum for so long. We have 6 laps left in this race. You can see in the bottom right the tyres are starting to scream at us orange. We go round the outside of Aitken. How have we made that move on the exit of the hairpin? He's so slow, being backed up by Tictum. We've managed to catch him napping, get round the outside, and we're up into 6th place. What a recovery this has been for us. After getting the damage early on, a long pit stop, we've managed to get back to where we were and start getting ahead of where we were. Now Tictum, we know he's lapping slowly around the circuit. We should be able to make a move on him and get that 5th place, and then it's a bit of open air to try and get some pace partners to try and catch up to Ilot, but he's 5 seconds clear. It's a lot to make up round here. You see the front tyres there, front left 72% worn, 67 on the right. It's going to be a struggle to the end of the race to try and keep the car on the road without sliding. We've lost a bit of play, some time to Tictum now though, as we made a mistake back in earlier in the race, and we've got to try and push to pull this time back. As you can see, we're now 11 seconds behind Ilott. We're struggling with the tyres, so little grip as we come round. The tyres are really starting to go now, but we're refusing to pit. We're in a points position. Pitting will completely ruin that. With 2 laps to go, lap number 20 into the casino section again. We're losing time to Tictum all the time, just trying to defend from Aiken. He's hit on the back and we're into the wall, and we've damaged the front wing. Both front tyres are so worn, and traffic is just coming head on to us. We're trying to manoeuvre our way out of the corner. We can't get the car around, and we look on a replay here. We're coming into the casino section, and Aiken just tries to make a move up the inside of us and spins us into the wall. The front wing's gone. Everything has gone wrong for us. We were in such a good position for this race, and we're struggling to get the car going again. Can't get the car into reverse gear, just heading towards the wall constantly, and we can't safely rejoin the track with cars coming in behind us, and we just can't get the car into reverse gear. We're stuck on the track, and it will be a disqualification for us in this race if we can't get the car moving. 3 seconds, we can't get the car out of the barrier, and there we go. Disaster for us in Monaco as we're disqualified from the session from such a good comeback, a position with points. It's not been a great weekend for us. Mick Schumacher takes another race win to add to his tally for the season. The team have got the victory, but we have let the side down once again. It's not a good weekend for us. We've got to bounce back in the sprint race if we want any chance of trying to keep our title hopes alive for this F2 season. We see Mick celebrating his win with Yuki Tsunoda also on the podium. He's been consistent this season, as we should hopefully have a little look at the championship, see where we stand after this race. It's not going to look pretty for us, I can tell you that. It's Schumacher, Tsunoda, Matsushita makes up your podium. Ilott takes the extra point for fastest lap. We look at the standings. Schumacher back on top of the championship. Tsunoda in second, and Drugovich drops down to third. We are down in 8th, 33 points off the top. It's not, by no means is it over, but we've still got a lot of work.